Alrighty, good evening everyone. Welcome, we are Oz Speedruns. We're doing a little event in conjunction with PAX Online, a little 12-hour marathon as it were. We've dubbed it Oz versus the World. We had a race focus of Australian runners taking on international counterparts. Australia has won the competition 3-1. Congratulations to Rex for clinching it for Australia. So that means if you're ever in a conversation with some other speedrunners about whether Australia or the rest of the world is better, we have scientific proof now. So there you have it. Sorry, rest of the world, it's just fact at this point. But of course I am kidding. But it is has been a fun event. We have also been doing some exhibition style runs, and we do have one coming up for you as the final run of the day. It's going to be Paracusia with a 120 SM64 run. Just before we do kick off, I'll just remind everyone that we are doing a quick general charity drive for Cure Cancer. PAX Online, charity of choice, one of them. And we are very happy to be supporting them. Donate.ozspeedruns.com is the link to do that. Finally, after this run, we are going to be revealing our Fast 2020 schedule reveal. So if you're interested in more Australian speedrunning goodness, we're going to have an event in November. We'll be revealing the schedule for the first time ever, just after this run. So without further ado, I'll let Paracusia introduce himself and get this run on the road.
Alright, what's up guys? You already know I'm Paracusia. Just run the game. I've been running since 2015, so yeah, not much to say. I'm gonna count us down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So it's been talked about a lot, so I'm not gonna go over too many of the basics here. You know, just 120 star, collect every star in the game. No real restrictions. We're allowed to do any glitch we want, as long as it's within certain rules and limits of the leaderboard, but that's another story.
And I'll be joining Para for a bit of commentary. For those of you who do know me, I'm not well, I used to run 16 star.
16
like
star legend.
In like 2012. But I'll be joining, mostly attempting to add some sort of viewer insight, as it were. Because yeah, I've been watching it for long enough, so I'd like to think about a bit of insight. So we're going to start off with Lakitu Skip. Classic trick that's been around since forever. Lakitu has essentially like a hitbox where he spawns this one. And if Para was just slightly further over to the left, you can execute another jump to get over that, and that just saves a couple of seconds because you get to skip that cutscene. So routing this game's become interesting because more recently, at least in the lifespan of the game, as it were, lobby backwards long jumps been found. I'll let the trick speak for itself. Oh. Oh, no. Nice, nice, very nice.
Yeah, so I had enough speed there. Even though I came out at a bad angle, I was able to back it up and go back behind that door and reset up the camera there.
Yeah. But so for those of you who don't know, by default, if you've got 0 stars, the only level you can get into is Bowl on Battlefield. But by getting into Bowser 1 early, we can get the red coin star here, and that gives us 1 star, which is enough to get into Womps. Because going into Bombs is slow, because we can't get as many for the stars, because we need wing cap for that. Well, do you still need? No, you still do need wing cap for all of them, because there's secret coins in the sky.
Yeah, BOB 100 is not an easy star to get without the wing cap.
Yeah, so you need the wing cap to do it well at the very least. So we want to go back to BOB later instead of having to enter it twice. So if we get this star, we can sort of ignore Bowl on Battlefield for a while, and lobby backwards long jump lets us do that.
Yeah, the good thing about getting into Dark World early too is that you skip a bunch of like door text and animations that you have to do if you just do it normally. Then that's where a lot of the time saves comes. If you don't do BLJ, then you actually have to enter BOB twice. so obviously the routing there is going to save a little bit of time. It's roughly 10 seconds.
Alrighty, so very nice Bowser throws. Obviously, Bowser throws are a long-running SM64 gag. Obviously, 1 and 2 are not particularly difficult. Because the star door is actually locked there behind 8 stars, that works both ways. So we need to enter the course and exit in order to actually get out. Otherwise, you're just stuck there.
Yeah, I think it might even be faster, even if you could go out that way to exit and go into Wumps.
Yeah, because I guess the fact that Wumps is on the other side of the lobby also doesn't help in that regard.
I'm just going to be looking at the texture here, and just ledge grab at that spot, and...
Nice.
Yeah, it's just a quicker version of the classic cannonless setup everyone knows. Instead of relying on, you know, the plank pushing us, we can actually just line it up visually, which it does make it a little bit harder. But,
yeah, I mean, I remember classic 2012 SM64 where it was just like, well, how about we just run? Just run off at an angle.
Yeah,
and,
before there was a setup.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Finding out there was a setup that was a blessed day, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that was huge for this game.
Because, yeah, well, I mean, eventually I feel like people figured it out just because they were sick of watching people reset.
Yeah, I believe it was... Wow, I've actually forgotten who found this setup. Sockfolder, that's right. Legendary setup finder, I guess. Glitch hunter in a lot of games. I believe the way he... I believe the way he found the setup was just pure brute force, using like a task bot. Yeah, very interesting. But yeah, that was 100 coin. This star is definitely the most difficult out of all the Wump stars, and it's on cycles. Luckily, I was able to just make the fastest cycle there. But if you fall down, you really do lose a lot of time. It's not fun to fall down.
For those in the audience who aren't super familiar with the runs, the way that works is that 100 coin stars are the only stars that don't kick you out of the level. So generally speaking, they're combined with stars that are... Usually it's red coins, but they're combined with other stars that are complementary. So that means you can get 2 stars in one visit, which is obviously faster than getting the same amount of stars in multiple visits.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, cruising on through. I'm actually not doing too bad here in the swamps.
It's been pretty smooth.
So just gonna use some tricky camera work here to get a good angle towards Wild Blue. So yeah, the rest of this level is actually pretty easy. There's just the Wump star and the Tower star, and the movement for these stars are actually almost identical. The only difference being in that when the tower is spawned, you have to climb the tower. But yeah, you do this movement here to come up, and yeah, use the slope to your advantage to gain a little speed off that rollout.
A running theme you'll notice in a lot of stars is that height is very much something that I'm guessing the level designers didn't consider as much. Like the amount of height that you can get with things like triple jumps into wall kicks, side flips into wall kicks is usually enough to get you to places where usually they'd expect you to use a cannon or use something like that.
Yeah, it's funny, even double jump wall kicks can get you into places that the developers never really intended you to get to that way.
Yeah, and it's a theme on our Wumps especially, like for example the way we're getting to the top level here is essentially just, like you can do this with a wall kick as well, you don't need that slope, the slope is faster. But you can do it with wall kicks as well, and obviously I doubt that was intentional originally at least.
Yeah, exactly.
A Wild Blue I think is the perfect example, because I think you're supposed to use the cannon, but instead you can just do a side flip, I think, or a double jump even, and just get there normally. It's
yeah, it's pretty easy
makes
to
it
get
a
up
lot
there.
faster.
That's the cool thing about this game, though, is if there were too many height considerations in the development of this game, I think it would have been a lot worse. The movement might have been a bit too horizontal.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this is Aquarium, one of the secret castle stars, I guess they're called. A lot of these stars are kind of boring, except there are a couple that are really good, like Vanish Cap. The Vanish Cap star is one of the most exhilarating stars in the game.
Vanish Cap star is excellent, 100% agree there. Yeah, these are the sort of things where it's do we have any donations sort of stars.
Yeah.
One thing about swimming now, see, I didn't realize this for the longest time, like as a casual player of the game. But swimming, and correct me if I'm wrong here, because it's been a very long time since I remember this. It's timing based, so it's not just like if you just mash A as fast as you can. That's actually slower than if you time it. I think it's to a sound cue.
There's a sound cue for it, and there is also a visual cue. It's when Murray's hands touch his feet. That's not a lot of people actually realize there's a visual cue. It's always good to have one because you can't rely on hearing the game all the time, such as, you know, marathon runs. Sometimes it's just really hard to hear stuff.
Yeah. So the fact that you can actually sort of get quote-unquote more speed is a fact that we'll be actually abusing in Jolly Roger Bay. To get a star early that we should need a metal cap for.
It's been a long time since I've messed that up. So basically, I was abusing some of the geometry there with Murray's swimming speed to get through onto the ship and hit that loading zone without moving the eel. But I'm not sure what happened there. I think I was just a little too far to the right and I ended up coming out of the ship there.
Yeah, unfortunately we're getting reports in chat of that game audio delay, so yeah, unfortunately that's just a technical limitation, but hopefully it's not
sorry guys.
Bad.
I'll every now and then I'll just refresh it. So I'm going to be trying this again. So, unfortunately, because I failed that star, I'm not going to have a backup star for the cannon. So if I miss the cannon shot, it's going to be kind of bad.
Oh, simple solution, just don't miss the cannon shot.
Yeah, true.
Easy does it, easy does it.
Usually I'd like to show off the instant cannon shot, where I don't even aim it, but it's too risky if there's no backup star. Because you only get a 1 frame window. Yeah, I think it's 1 frame. Yeah. So there's a 1 frame window for the instant cannon shot in JRB, and there's also a cannon shot in Rainbow Ride that you can do sort of instant. But that one's a 2 frame window, but then you risk death on that one. But now, into 100 coins, so like a lot of stages in this game, this specific stage has a cycle with the ship that moves up and down. That'll drastically affect the way I do the ending of this star. And a lot of this is just taking good lines and not missing swims.
Yeah, I mean if you start adding it up, like not having optimal swims can add up quite a lot. As said, we can actually abuse that higher swim speed to get that star that you might have just seen in the jet stream. The fact that that's supposed to push you away should tell you sort of how much speed you can possibly get as compared to quote unquote normal speed optimally. And when you multiply that over sort of making 2 laps around Jolly Roger Bay, you can sort of tell that's not that's coming up in double digits worth of seconds potentially.
Yeah. Bad swims are really, really bad. It's visually bad even, like you can just tell how much time you lose.
Yeah, and because of the sound cue, you can also hear it. I mean, I still remember every time. When I used to run the game back in the day, God, that sounds awful. But every time you'd sit there and you're like, that doesn't sound right. God damn it, stop. Yeah, it's painful. So we're also going to open the cannon here, because we will need to do that for another star later, as said.
Yeah, so it is possible to skip opening that cannon and do cannonless, but basically that strat was nerfed when. So we used to switch to GameCube controllers and we used to map an analog input to a digital input, which is a bit cheaty, but It was fine, you know. But that was actually it was banned switching between analog and digital signals mid-run. So we can't do that anymore. You can do it on like a Hori or even an original N64 controller. But I haven't practiced it enough to be consistent at it.
So is that practice of switching to a different controller for Bowser throws still a thing?
Yes, we still switch. I'm not switching this run specifically because I just forgot to get my Hori. But yeah, it's fine if it's just like a one-off run. But you know, you don't want to be using the same N64 controller for throws because you're just gonna wreck your stick. It's going pretty good. That 100 coin was actually way better than I expected. I got the second best cycle that you can make there, which is pretty much just around average. Like that's what I usually get in runs if I'm not going extremely fast.
Nice. Looks like we're going for jet stream here. So again, normally this is supposed to push you away, but with optimal swims, you can just swim straight into it. If I remember correctly with speedrun strats, you actually don't need the metal cap for any star.
Yeah, you don't press the metal cap switch at all, unless you mess up metal cap itself. So it's kind of interesting, you know, that we don't actually have to press that. Because you got to remember, this is not a 100% run. This is you know, just a 120 star run.
It's a key distinction. It's get all the stars.
Yeah. Well,
I think not a star.
I think 100% is too broad in this game to have as a category. That's why no one's really done it.
Yeah, so I think this is the final star for JRBs, the eel tail. Pretty simple stuff.
Yeah, I actually almost swam into the eel there because I was trying to go early.
I saw that.
Yeah, I quickly slowed down. I was hoping I wouldn't hit it.
Very nice. That was a really good JRB.
Yeah, not too bad. Other than the first star, but everything else was fine.
Alright, so we've got a slide coming up. For those of you in chat, do start guessing the slide time. Time-honoured tradition here. I'm gonna say 12.6. I got faith.
You have enough faith, though.
I got a lot of faith. Maybe not enough, but I got a lot.
This is a 0.6. Oh, 0.7, okay.
Oh,
yeah, I'm just
you're ruining me. You're ruining me.
Yeah, I'm just, yeah.
Now we got 112.7. There you go, so. Alright, so we got wing cap here. No surprises, just gonna get red coins. We're gonna need to press the switch here, because we definitely need the wing cap for a decent few stars in the game.
Yeah, we need the wing cap more than we need any other cap. I just missed that last coin. It's unfortunate.
So we're gonna try here for a skip. So the text box for the wing cap being pressed, I think it's like 3 or 4 text boxes, and do you want to save, is cancelled out if you also collect the star, so that's not a huge time save, you know, everything counts.
Yeah, and it's very easy too. All you have to do is just get a jump off of the switch. And
yeah,
hit
I mean, you
the
can even do that casually, yeah, you can do, obviously the rolling thing is slightly faster, but you can also just do it with a double jump, which is very simple. That is the 12.6.
Okay, onto BOB, where we do every single star here without having to leave, which is the nice part about this route.
Yeah, so now that we have the wing cap, we can clear out Bomb Battlefield. What star are you doing first?
I'm gonna do the Bob-omb King.
Bomb King, alright. So Bomb Battlefield's a very vertical level, because it's got a mountain on it, so no surprises there, but obviously we've got a lot of ways we can get up to the top. So we can skip most of the mountain climb by just doing that little set of wall kicks there and then using the teleporter.
Yeah, so some interesting stuff about those wall kicks. For anyone that might happen to run the game and not know this, is that I actually go neutral for those wall kicks. I don't touch the analog stick when I'm doing them. Because if you're holding the stick, that means you're gaining speed, which means you're losing height. So you definitely want to be holding neutral there.
Another theme you'll notice with a lot of these stars that spawn is Para will attempt to be as close as possible to them when they spawn, because obviously it's faster, and because I think all of them spawn in a set location. We know what's going on, so you can just accordingly position. So we've got the race against Cooper the Quick. Now, for obvious reasons, being a top-level speedrunner, Power is significantly faster than Cooper. So we're going to deliver some very significant disrespect here by going up to the top, back to the start, and then back up to the top again.
Yeah, it's really humiliating for Cooper the
I mean, Cooper the Quick unfortunately will be needing a new nickname after this performance. So I think Cooper the Quick does it in like 50, I think. And you'll notice that Para's time is 18.4.
So this is a no lag route. You want to stay away from the Cooper as he's running back up to the top, because when you come close to the Cooper, he actually slows down a little bit. So traditionally people would actually get close to him the way they come back down here, but the way I'm going to do it is I'm just going to avoid him altogether and then come back up here with a wing cap instead of taking like any sort of cannon. I might not have beaten him back up. Oh wait, no I did.
Yep. And there you go, so...
Didn't lose any time.
Yeah, no. Very strong performance there. Now I agree with AJ, Cooper the not so quick. Definitely not so quick indeed. So yeah, by doing that we get, because I mean you've got to wait for Cooper anyway is the thing. So it might as well use the time to do something productive, which in this case is opening up the cannons, which we'll be using later.
Yeah, we'll need the cannon for the 100 coin star and also the secret star.
Alright, so this is the bomb clip. Short version is that by grabbing the bomb as it's partially inflated, it inflicts backwards momentum. So if you point the bomb towards the camera, Mario moves backwards, and that momentum combined with throwing the bomb, which slightly offsets Mario's position, puts you through the fence, which means you don't have to ground pound the post that Chain Chomps. I think that's the correct explanation.
Yeah, you got it right. Speaking of momentum, here's some... These two stars are momentum based here. I'll be using a lot of speed.
That wing cap thing, it's not super hard, but if you haven't practiced it, it's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah.
And so every time I play it casually now, I always go for it, 'cause, I've got, you put your collar up, like, I'm great at this game, and then I sit there for half an hour, so it's much, much harder than it looks, but very satisfying when you get it.
Yeah, so the way I do it here, not many people do it this way, is I long jump over the slope here, and then gain speed, and then keep the speed with a speed kick double jump. When you speed kick, you keep all of your speed, like every single unit of speed you have, you keep it. So you can just, get over the wing cap faster.
Right, so I think we've got hundreds and reds, I think, if I recollect. So hundreds and reds is the very, very common combination. For obvious reasons, collecting 8 reds is 16 coins, so that's 16 out of your 100 already. In Bomb Battlefield, because so many of the coins are in the air, around the coins in the sky star, it makes the wing cap very desirable.
Yeah. Otherwise you'll be shooting yourself up into the sky with the cannon like a million times.
Yeah, and that's whatever the opposite of fast is, it's that.
Very slow.
So the general gist here is we're gonna try and get a bunch of these bottom coins, as it were. basically grab this ring here just from the ground with the side flips and similar. And then we can use the cannon to try to sort of get as many as possible in one swoop. And then the rest can just be collected off the ground, because there are a lot of coins in Bolo. I think it's like 120, 130 coins total.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
It's quite a high number, but obviously we want to try and get the fastest ones. The ones in the sky, if you're already there, are pretty quick. But if backups are needed, there's a bunch of Goombas and posts that give a series of coins.
Yeah, so
needed.
we actually count our coins with our heads there as we come out of the sky. I had 66, which means I have to grab this box here and no Goombas. And then I have to grab 3 poles, the box, and no Goombas. So that's sort of like, we have to actively think about that.
Quick math.
Yeah, quick maths, basically. I was gonna go for double star spawn, but I accidentally just grabbed the red coin.
Yeah. So obviously if we accidentally pick up that red coin star, that'll kick us out of the level, so that would be disaster. So generally speaking, don't do that.
Yeah.
But obviously we're successful here, and I think that's Bomb Battlefield done and dusted.
Yep. Now we
Guessing
have.
just based on castle position, Cool Mountain.
Yeah, we have one lobby stage left, CCM, and then yeah. So I do CCM before I go to basement. It does actually save like around half a second. Most of the top level runners don't do this route just because it delays basement a little bit. But
Yeah, but it saves half a second, so.
yeah.
So we're doing wall kicks will work first. Short version of this star is you put yourself in a specific position, you can do that backflip into, just get down into this section here, which would usually use a cannon. Unfortunately not getting the super cool route here, but there is a backup here
Yeah,
to get up to the star.
It was a bit of a disaster. The backup is really hard because you're doing those wall kicks blind.
Yeah, and obviously the standard route has set camera angles, and again that's a very big theme, is having camera angles, so it's a lot of muscle memory. You know which position the stick should be in and so on. Whereas when you start going to backups, you got to fix the camera. Maybe you don't get to fix the camera because there's no really good way to do it. It's never an ideal situation.
Oh.
Not enough speed on the slide there.
Yeah, it's so easy to die there. It's honestly one of my least favorite stars. Yeah.
Alright, now if I remember correctly, this is one of the ones where it's just reds and not reds and hundreds.
Yeah, there's actually a couple. There's more than you'd probably think, like offhand, that don't actually pair it up with the red stars, like SSL, LLL.
Yeah, because SSL pairs with secret coins. LLL, I'm guessing, pairs with one of the volcanoes.
Yeah, the top of the volcano star.
Yeah.
I just used the little broken part of the bridge there to cancel my rollout momentum and then just do another jump dive because I have enough speed. So it's a tiny little bit of a time save there. It looks really cool.
Alright, so we're going to do the slide here, and with the slide, the first one specifically, because we're not pairing it with coins like we're going to do with the big penguin race, we can just jump off. And because of the way that if you do a dive, you sort of undo the fact that you're going to take fall damage, so you just fall down the entire thing, you're all good, slide to the end, and then do some swag. Does that actually save time?
No, it's purely swag.
A rule of cool, of course. So this is one of those classic stars that basically everyone knows.
Yeah, this is really easy to do even as a casual. It's like really low effort.
Yeah, we were doing I think it was 16-star runs or rando runs or something with a few mates, and there was someone who never, like, basically never touched the game before, and we were just like, just grab the penguin, hold forward, go, and your first try, easiest thing.
Yeah.
And again, it's just one of those things. It's easy and it's just very satisfying to pull off, especially if you haven't done it before, because it's just like, that looks cool.
So yeah, here's like one of the scariest parts of lobby and possibly the run. Potential to lose minutes here if I mess up really bad. And I'm gonna be doing the new route here, where I grab the blue coins and skip a part of the slide.
Yeah, so one of the dangerous parts of this is because it's being paired with big penguin race. You need to win the race.
Yeah.
um,
The penguin can like knock you off and do all kinds of stuff to mess you up.
yeah, penguin's a bit of a prick.
Yeah.
They're definitely very competitive. So you can't really stuff around too much, but also you do need to get all the coins. Fortunately, there are a lot of coins on the slide, as you can see. I think was it 15 at the end part. I think it's another 15 or 20 just in that part was just passed.
Yeah.
So there are definitely enough coins on the slide. One thing that is somewhat dangerous is if you collect 100 too early on this last ice part, it can be very, very hard to actually get the star if you accidentally pass it up. So you do want to make sure that your count is good, otherwise you're going to potentially put yourself into trouble.
Yeah, actually played it really safe there, just so I don't lose minutes.
Yeah, and that was perfect.
I'm actually really happy with that. I haven't actually really done proper attempts with that strat yet. I sort of learned it after I took my break.
So last star in CCM is Snowman's head. Pretty simple star, pretty self-explanatory. And then, if I remember correctly, Big Boo's haunt first.
No, I'll go straight to SSL.
Straight to SSL. Okay.
To my complete utter and shock, I have to do SSL.
Oh no. So SSL I don't know what they're called. Pyramid top skip. What's it even called? Oh god.
Topless?
Topless.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, whatever the trick's called.
Pillarless?
You'll know it when you see it. Pillarless, thank you, God.
Yeah.
As said, re-disclavoring, I'm not a runner, not pretending to be either. So pillarless is one of those tricks that eventually just came around and everyone went, damn, that's cool. And hopefully we'll see it here. So one of the advantages, it's one of those stars where there is a backup option if it's a mistake, because it is very precise, and I will not talk during that, just to give a bit of focus. But yeah, short version is usually you'd have to go around to 4 pillars in order to take the pyramid top off. But we're gonna take a few actions that prevent that from happening, because obviously having to go around the entire map is quite slow.
Okay, so I grabbed a medium bomb there, which means the bomb was going really slow. I could have still made it, but I don't know, I just didn't like re-grab the bomb properly. That's fine. We'll get it next time.
Yeah, so I'll vaguely walk through my understanding of it once complete, then Parac sort of fill in the gaps. Nice. That was very smooth. Very smooth.
Yeah.
So yeah, so by grabbing the bomb, it's a similar principle to the bomb clip from Bomb Battlefield. That backwards momentum by pointing the bomb towards the camera. Let's Para go up. The main danger with this is because of the whirlpools of sand that can basically insta you. And the fact that your movement's a bit funky whilst you're moving backwards with the bomb. You need to be quite precise in regards to when you jump, when you double jump, and so on to get you up. And then it's just Mario 64 shenanigans by clipping through the actual pyramid top. Sometimes you need to jump a lot at the top to sort of wedge yourself through, but as said, that was very, very clean.
Yeah.
And Paris slid straight through it.
So this is widely considered the hardest star in the game. It's extremely precise, to say the least.
Yeah, so it's a lot of wing cap movement in order to get a lot of the stars that are just... sorry, not the stars, the coins that are floating in the air. And obviously because of the way that the wing cap momentum works, you don't have that much breathing room. And especially this bit's also rather harrowing when you're jumping over the instant death pit. Because you're on the slope that's just sort of in many ways outside the course. You don't have much breathing room, because if you're a bit too far to the left, you're going in the swamp. If you're a bit too far to the right, you're going in the swamp. So that was very, very smooth. That was very nice.
Yeah, unfortunately, the beginning was like practically perfect, but I messed up the ending really badly though. I didn't get like the Z slide ending, but you know, other than that, this SSL isn't too bad. I should probably say that until after it though.
So we're going to do the boss here, so usually going through the top and the elevator thing and all that, but you know, obviously again that's rather slow. We can just do a conserve enough speed through the sand, do a quick kick, and up we are to the boss arena.
Yeah, so with topless, that's the name of that trick I just did. You're constantly fighting against the sand under your feet, because the sand is constantly making you lose speed. The only way to conserve it is with dives and rollouts, and the only way to get a high enough single jump for that wall kick is to have enough speed. So we have sort of like a camera set up where we do a long jump and like 2 rollouts. But other than that, yeah, it's a pretty tough trick. I've done enough for it to, you know, be kind of easy, but it is a difficult trick. But that was really good RNG. Also really, yeah, this is really lucky.
Yeah, this is just, overall this has been a really strong SSL. To close it off, we've got hundreds and the secret coins in the pyramid. I mean, they're not particularly secret, they're all basically in a line. But I think they're called the secret ones or the special ones.
The secret, yeah, it's a secret star.
Yeah, yes, the secret. Put the heavy air quotes on it. But yeah, naturally we'll grab a bunch of coins outside the pyramid, and then once we go in, we don't really have many options to get out, so we need to get enough outside first. We also don't want to have our wing cap taken away by the vulture, because otherwise we're in somewhat trouble. So movement there also somewhat conserves that. Now because of the way that movement works, we end up going to all the pillars there anyway, so that actually takes the top off as opposed to needing to do pillars or anything like that. And also because all the coins are up top, we can just go sort of top to bottom, and that works out pretty well.
Oh no, I missed that coin. That's unfortunate. It's a very rare coin to miss. Just grab a Goomba at the end. I don't think it's worth going back to get that coin. That was a very good pyramid other than that though. That was practically perfect. Actually, I have the single star record for this star, so nice. It's safe to say that like this is my best star in the entire game.
Alrighty, so that's SSL done. I'm guessing Lethal Lava Land next?
No, I'm gonna be going to HMC. No? The reason I do LLL last is because it sets up for better MIPS towards Vanish Cap. Yeah, this star can be kind of daunting. It looks daunting, but it's not that bad. We've just come from like a way harder stage, so...
Yeah, in many ways, I mean, if I remember correctly, again, correct me if I'm wrong, because my memory is probably quite shoddy on this. Yeah, HMC 100 used to be a very, very daunting star, but I think SSL had a few improvements like Pyramidless, so sort of it became one of those things where HMC 100 was sort of just, you know, you're on that confidence high, because if you get in here and you have to reset, you know, stuffing up a bunch of pillars, you're on that super, confidence boost. So you're raring to go, and confidence really helps. I mean, obviously, even if you don't speedrun, if you're playing sport, whatever, you understand that sort of thing where if you've got a lot of confidence, that really, really does help. And you can be very, very surprised as to how much it does.
Yeah, so I think another thing that really helped with this star is just the evolution of practice tools.
Yeah, very true. I mean, these days, obviously, there's a lot of practice ROMs and so on, which makes it a lot easier.
Yeah,
you're very correct there.
Practicing this game is really, really good. We have good practice ROM. We have good resources and stuff. Like we have the wiki and the spreadsheet. So it's really, really easy to get into this game, and it's really easy to get good at this game.
Yeah, it's what I always used to like about running games like Duke 3D and so on, because you just had a quick save thing, and you go to something like Mario 64 and you'd be there on your console, and you're just like, well, I guess I'll just leave the level and come back.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a pain, whereas Duke 3D, because I had quick saves, you'd be like, okay, F6, I'll try that again, F6. Yeah, it's so much quicker. So yeah, the practice ROM definitely helps in that regard.
Yeah, it does.
Especially in regard to just efficiency. I think it's efficiency of practice. I mean, it was Bruce Lee who said, I fear not the man who has practiced 1,000 kicks one time, but who has practiced one kick 1,000 times. And that's sort of similar principle here.
Yeah, time to do the thing that people like. Thing that people like to see. You ready for it?
I'm ready.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Ah, there we go. Oh no.
Oh, this is good.
Oh yeah. Perfect, nice, very nice.
Nice ground pound. Just nail this insane trick and then just ground pound.
So yeah, so short version there is there's a void above the map, so we can use that to sort of what's the phrase? Get to the elevator a bit quicker. So you can do that, and then you can use the elevator as sort of like a wedge to develop a lot of momentum with a backwards long jump. And through that momentum can then be carried through to that star and through the gate, which would usually require, if I remember correctly, going through the entire Hazy Maze Cave. That's just, obviously it's a lot of time. We can use that same void here to get the Metal Cap star coming up here, as well as that star that was on the center of the mountains. That void's really handy. Just generally for maneuvering around the map and getting to places quicker.
Yeah, basically the simplest way to put it is that HMC has no ceiling. Like there's walls, but there's no ceiling, so you can just jump over the walls.
It is noteworthy that there are a few death planes out there. So if you're too far to the right, too far to the left, so on, you can just void out.
Yeah, you have to actually lose speed to avoid the death plane. That's why you'll see me. The keen-eyed among you might see me slow down when I do it.
So yeah, so it's noteworthy that you do have to be somewhat precise, otherwise you just leave the level. But generally speaking, as I said, it's a very, very handy way to get around the map.
Yeah, just gonna mash C right there, or C left, sorry, for lag reduction. There are a lot of lag reductions. I'm not gonna be talking about a lot of them. I'll just talk about some notable ones. Like there are some really important lag reductions that will save over a second.
Yeah. Just to generally explain for again those who aren't necessarily too au fait with it all, because the N64 is a very laggy console. A lot of the things that Para does in regards to camera are done specifically to attempt to. I think it's deload things mostly.
Yeah, basically when something's off screen, it's not loaded into. Yeah, it's not loaded actually into the game.
Yeah.
It is, but it isn't. I don't know. It's really hard to explain.
It's like the game knows it's there.
Yeah,
but
it's in its memory.
Render it.
Yeah, it's in its memory, but it's not rendering it.
So yeah, 2 more pretty simple stars here for HMC, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, if there's any SM64 nerds watching, you'll notice at the start of HMC I'll be doing the 1 frame time save before the first door. So what I'm doing is, oh, I've messed it up, whatever. But yeah, basically I hold right for a little bit and I purposely get dust. Yeah, it basically makes Mario avoid rubbing up against the left wall, which does lose a little bit of time.
Alrighty, and there's a few Toad stars here that we get around the castle. So they're freebies. All you have to do is talk to the Toads at a certain. You have to have a certain amount of stars. So for that Toad to spawn, you have to have 12. Second MIPS is coming up at 50. So you'll notice we have 50 now, but because the level has already loaded, MIPS isn't here.
Oops.
And so we'll go into LLL, and then once we leave LLL, then MIPS will be there. Even just after this first star, but obviously I'm guessing that Para will complete LLL before actually grabbing MIPS 2.
I'm really messing this up, but I'm still making it.
Still making it.
That
Still
was
over.
very sketchy. Yeah, LLL is hard, man. It's a very hard stage. I don't think a lot of people really think about how hard it is.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of precision. I mean, there are certainly easy stars. Like, I mean, I think we both agree that like red coins is not particularly difficult.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of stuff that's very precise, especially to try and actually do it quickly. Like, this would be a good example of
Yep.
a star that's somewhat tough to actually do optimally.
See, basically, I was trying to hit everything at the max height possible. So there with my side flip, I was really glad that I grabbed the pole basically at the max height of that side flip, which meant I didn't really have to climb up the pole at all.
So it looks like we're doing Bully 1 here. One of those things that, again, you wouldn't know unless you... Oh no, never mind, sorry, it's this Bully star. But yeah, one of those things that you wouldn't know unless you're sort of running the game and know a bunch about it is that Bullies always, if you're ground pounding, they always sort of get shoved the direction that Mario is facing. So you can do sort of things that look quite weird, such as like ground pound the bomb that's behind Mario, but still shove them forward.
Yeah.
And that can be used in that situation to get rid of all of them at once, which is obviously quite fast.
Yeah, there is a little setup there. We sort of like get into a certain spot. It's mostly by feel, but yeah, it's quite simple.
Alright, so now we're doing Bully 1, which again is quite simple because there's a setup there. And as Para noted earlier, this is one of the courses where we do red coins by themselves, not combined with hundreds. So I'm guessing we're doing that now. So yeah, because of the way that the board is set up at first, it's very easy to just go to reds and just walk up the left column, down the center column, up the right column, and just straight into the star. Like, it is absolutely like, if you're too slow, you got to start stuffing around, because it starts becoming the panels that start moving become rather frustrating if you're a bit slow. But it is quite easy movement.
Yeah.
At least compared to some of the. I mean, it's not super easy, but it's easy in comparison to some of the stuff that gets done. So we're going to grab the shell here, because obviously being Lethal Lava Land, quite a lot of it's somewhat tough to navigate. So you're just going to grab the shell. I mean, I'm just stating facts here. I'm just stating facts. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. But grabbing the shell here means we can get around basically the entire map and get not all the coins, but almost all the coins that are available, like on the side here, and also easily. We can also kill these eyes whilst on the shell.
Yeah,
so
while I'm waiting for the blue coin to spawn, I just like sort of go grab those extra coins. One thing to note though is that if the blue coin touches lava, then it despawns. So you can't be too slow.
Alright, So we're now going to grab the top of the volcano, so combined with the 100 coins. So there's enough coins just going up the volcano generally.
Oh, so close.
Still cool, yeah.
This is almost the perfect 100 coin.
Still very, very quick. Very, very quick.
That was a good basement. I'm really happy with that basement, actually.
Yeah, there were no major mistakes, certainly. Running
great.
very hot.
This is the hardest MIPS to grab. Wow, you pushed me.
So, yeah,
I knew I'd mess this up. So,
yeah.
the thing with this route is that you don't get a text box before the MIPS, before you can set up for the MIPS angle. Which does change the angle slightly and also gives you less time to even think about what's happening. That is the one bad part about this route.
Oh yeah, next time you get a star, if you can just do another reset, please.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. Sorry guys.
Yeah, so just for those who weren't here, so unfortunately Para's computers has some delay issues in regards to the I think it's just becomes slightly out of sync as time goes on.
Yeah, it does it with
weird.
Mario, it doesn't do it with GoldenEye or Perfect Dark though. Actually, it does it with one level in Perfect Dark. It's really weird.
Damn. But yeah, unfortunately we can just refresh the source every now and then. So yeah, this is Vanish Cap. I made the point earlier, this is really a very cool secret star. So we're just getting reds and the cap itself.
I'm gonna play it safe here, actually. Nice. Ah, damn. So what happened there is I waited too long to side flip, and that meant I was sort of further away from the switch, so I didn't have enough speed to get there. But a deathless Vanish Cap is a good Vanish Cap, especially in a no reset. That was good.
Yeah, I mean overall that was still very smooth. Alrighty, so big boost haunt here. Mostly stars, unsurprisingly, involving booze. Thought I'd slip that one in, yeah. Again, just stating facts, just stating facts. So we're going to be doing the 5 boos first, looks like.
So, I'll explain a little bit what happened there. When you actually start getting a text box after you kill something, a thing happens called time stop, where you're able to move through certain objects, and in this level that includes doors. So, yeah, I haven't done this in a long time actually. I feel like I haven't practiced this ever. So I'm a little worried. I was going for there's 2 door skips you can do. I was going for the second one there, but I think I just had a little too much speed.
One thing that's noteworthy about this is that technically this is not a star that you need to do first. So casually, generally, you do that star first. One, because it's the first star that's offered to you, and also because it unlocks the staircase up to the 2nd floor. But as we said earlier, one big theme is the amount of height you can get. So the amount of ways you can get to the 2nd floor without the stairs is almost like uncountable, because there are that many. Like you can get to the 2nd floor like 100 ways. It's ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. So you don't really need to do that star first. Obviously we do, but it's not necessary.
Yeah, so the reason I do that star first is because it... I think I should be fine. I don't know if I grabbed that coin or not. I know I have to grab an extra 5 coins. But,
we're vibing.
Yeah, we'll make it work.
So again, yeah, that's even, we just demonstrated just one of the simpler, one of the very, very simple ways to get up to the second floor there. I think that was just a single jump.
Yeah.
So,
Literally just a single jump wall kick.
yeah.
So if I did miss that other blue coin, I might even have to go outside the mansion, which is kind of wild. I just did a little bit of weird movement there to lure that boo out. I swear I wasn't going slow, trust me. I'm down 1 coin.
That's savable.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do... Let's see if I long jump that. Just for the fun of it.
Alright, so we're just gonna have another view of the outside here. This is a very important manipulation for later on. Later on in the course. See, we needed to get a good look at Big Boo up on the roof there, you know, just to really zone in on him.
Yeah, I also really need that lag I just caused. I really need it. Really laggy.
Yes, that buffers, that actually buffers a lag reduction later. No.
Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, the reason I do... Sorry, I just like lost a little train of thought there.
Sorry, I think that's my fault.
Yeah, the reason I do that star first is because while that star hasn't been done yet, every time you kill a boo, it'll cause a text box to spawn.
Yeah, and as has been seen there, even just during 100 coins, we still kill a lot of boos. And I think each text box will be second or two, yeah, so it's not a huge deal, but obviously, you know, like anything in speedrunning, it adds up very quickly.
Yeah, these next few stars are just really simple, movement-based stars.
Yes, we've got what is it? It's the one on the balcony. There's Big Boo. There's and the Big Eye. That's right.
Yeah.
I really like the movement here of Big Boo. I don't know why. It's one of those things that, you know, it just looks cool.
Yeah. I actually I broke a really long-standing tie with this star. Sort of just before I took a break from this game. I was really happy with it.
Nice.
It is one of the stars I really enjoy just to practice. Yeah, it's the movement's kind of cool. You got like sort of tight angles and stuff.
Alright, so we got a Big Eye here. Big Eye is actually, I'm pretty sure, exactly the same as a Small Eye, but bigger.
Yeah, pretty much. You just run around it a couple times and it's
yeah,
dead.
That's it. Yes.
I think the challenge of this star was actually having the Vanish Cap and figuring out and getting up there in time as well.
Yeah. And actually, it's one thing that Mario 64, at least just from a casual perspective, does quite well, is there aren't that many stars that are lock and key based. Like there's definitely a few, but there's not much that say get the thing to do the thing, get the wing cap to do this. There's definitely a few, but
it sort of gives me a Super Mario World vibe. It's the exact same thing. Like you see those like transparent boxes, so you like know that they're there, but you can't get it yet. Kind of cool.
Alright, it's all done with Big Boo's Haunt. Now we've got Docs and Bowser 2.
Yeah, so this section of the run, it's really, really, really hard to not lose time. From BBH all the way to upstairs is the silent run killer. Because if you have a good lobby and good basement, then you have to do this, and then it sort of chips away at like your time save and stuff.
So yeah, so Die Docks, unsurprisingly because of the name, another water level. Yeah, it's fun for the whole family. Everyone loves Die Docks. Woo, get out the vuvuzela. No, it sucks. I think you'd struggle to find people who would like sing Die Docks' praises from like a speedrun perspective.
Yeah, I mean, swimming as like a optimization concept is really cool. Just like taking perfect lines and just like there's a bunch of cool stuff you can do with swimming, but the level itself is sort of just kind of boring. Like the design of the level.
Now, the one thing that I will admit I never will get sick of is a Polus, and I think hopefully we'll see it here.
I'm not taking the poles. If that's what you're asking.
Nah, don't take the poles. Can't do that. So usually
I don't think I've ever taken the poles in my entire life. Well, I mean, when I was casual, maybe.
I was about to say, in your entire life, perhaps a bit strong. But yeah, so usually when you get the first star, you clear out the sub, and these poles spawn, which is how you're supposed to get the red coins. So naturally, speedrunners thought, hey, what if we just don't?
Yeah, you can just grab these all from the sub.
And yeah, this is some fantastic movement. There's also a front sub here, which is again one of those easier than it looks, sorry, harder than it looks sort of things. Very precise.
I have a weird camera here. Don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
okay,
quite
there we
weird.
go. So usually I do the wall kick there, but I had a really weird camera.
Yeah, that was a very nice 100. One thing I don't think we actually explained was jump diving. So, and again, this is one of those correct me if I'm wrong things, but so there's two. Generally speaking, so if you jump and you press B while Mario is moving up, you do a dive, and whilst Mario is moving down or you're holding backwards on the stick, you do a kick.
So it's based on speed. If Mario is over a certain speed and you press B, you always do a dive. There's no way to avoid it, unless you hold back and wait for the speed to go away.
Okay, no, actually, I didn't realize it was just speed based. I thought it was controls based. You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
But the main thing that's relevant there is, and again, also correct me if I'm wrong, but if you do a jump and a dive at the same time, I believe that makes you dive slightly further. So in that situation where Para was grabbing the last red coin, specifically it was a triple jump dive, not a triple jump and dive, and that gave the distance required to make the jump.
Yeah, there's actually a little mechanic in this game where you do a triple jump, but you press B a few frames after you triple jump, and you actually go a little further. So it's somewhere in between. And for certain, I think that might be the only place where... Oh no, it's that, and also Bowser in the Sky as well. You need to delay your dive just a little bit, like a few frames. I'm just going to do back sub here. So I recently switched to using a retro tank. By recently I mean after I took my break from this game. So I haven't figured out a new visual setup for front sub. Because on CRT it's a little different because the game gets cut off a little bit on my CRT. And the way I was doing it was I was actually looking at the very side of the CRT to set it up. But with the retro tank, I'm able to see everything. I don't know why I just went into DDD again, it's fine.
Yeah, it all works out in the end.
Let's do Manta here.
Alrighty, so... We were actually talking about this earlier, actually, the fact that the Manta Ray hitboxes, and I said the problem is I didn't watch the video, so if I remember correctly, it's what, the first 5 are good, and everything after that, basically the hitboxes are just...
Yeah, the hitboxes are all displaced, and yeah, they're randomly crap. That's basically what it is.
So it's one of those things where if you're playing the game casually and you're trying to like get the things, because obviously if you're playing casually, you're probably not getting the first 5. You just sit there and you just in absolute pure agony attempting to get those rings. It's awful. But fortunately, being able to do it quickly means you can actually just get the first 5.
Yeah, so this level, every single Bowser stage is cycle based. This is no different, obviously. The cycle I'm probably gonna get here. Did I grab all the coins?
I think so.
Yeah, okay, no, so that was
Yeah, you're good.
Lava Boost early cycle. I was like, I couldn't remember if I like did everything correct. Weird champ moment.
So yeah, so the main cycle there is that like extending staircase.
Yeah, that really big, the really big staircase, the like ramps that sort of move up and down really slow. Because they're so slow, it makes missing cycles lose a lot of time. Like it's a crazy amount of time. There's also a little cycle at the ending there, which I messed up, so I had to take a couple burns on purpose.
We got Bowser 2 here, which is, I'd probably argue, the simplest of the Bowsers, just because like the throw distance is so short that missing it just... Please don't miss it after I say that. Oh no!
Yeah, missing it costs the most amount of time out of all.
I was about to say you'd have to miss it on purpose to miss it. No. Oh no.
It happens, trust me. It just like sometimes you just throw a little late.
Yeah. Like the timing isn't as simple as you'd think. Because obviously you're spinning the stick so fast to try and actually get the speed up. You can't just sort of like, you know, brain just doesn't communicate. Because again, you know, when you're doing something that quickly, it's much easier than it looks. So much harder than it looks. Easier said than done. But yeah, unfortunate timing on my part here with the commentary. So we do need to obviously finish off Die Docs. We got the the jet stream.
Yeah, so we got another jet stream star coming up.
Yes, this is a similar sort of idea to Jolly Roger Bay, where you're supposed to get the metal cap, and then you'll be immune to the jet stream. Or we could just not, because you don't need to. You just need to swim optimally. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty simple stuff, but sometimes you do get like, if you overswim the rings, you'll get the rings, but you won't get like a good position for the star. So then you'll have to like turn around and swim back. Luckily that didn't happen, but it is quite common. It happens to almost everyone.
Alright, now we got the final star, which is, if I remember correctly, the intention is that you're supposed to get the Vanish Cap and the Metal Cap.
Yeah.
But again, obviously we don't need the Metal Cap, so we can just ignore that. And with optimal swims, I think it probably ends up being faster than the Metal Cap anyway.
Yeah, because when you have the Metal Cap and you go into water, Mario sinks really slow. Really slow. We'd be waiting here all day.
So, because Paras sometimes be very tempted to do that, just for the fun of it, we've actually specifically not gotten the Metal Cap switch, so there's not even temptation, because it's still there. That we removed the temptation to go slowly. In a cunning piece of strategy. Alrighty, so we're all done now, so we're going to do another exit course here to get back up, because now we got to go upstairs. And obviously, just going into a course and exiting is much faster. Than walking all the way. So we got a nice little, this is just the swag strat. It does save a couple of seconds flipping through the wall here to get upstairs. Very important movement. If you have it, even casually, you got to do it.
Yeah, it's really easy. You just double jump up there.
You just double jump to the thing. It's very easy. And it's one of those things, it's why I always like to call Mario 64 in many ways, even if you don't know too much, it's a very good party trick.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going to go downtown first.
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing the Vanish Cap stuff first, simply just because jumping up to the top of the painting actually saves a little bit of time for the first star, just in castle movement. Now this star is actually overlooked by quite a lot of people. This is a pretty tough star to not mess up on. Luckily,
Nice.
that was actually really good.
Yeah.
So what I did there was I used my long jump speed to... I sort of like let Mario stop when he landed, but I didn't let him stop long enough to lose speed. So it's like sort of a start-stop thing.
And yeah, that's another very common theme in Mario 64 stars, is a lot of them were very easy to do, but not necessarily easy to do optimally. And I mean, that's obviously a very common thing with a lot of speed games. Mario 64 sort of highlights it more in the sense that the movement is very, very precise. A lot of it is sort of not necessarily pixel perfect, but pretty damn close to it. So you do have to be on the right movement. If you've got too much speed, you're going to fail. If you've got not enough speed, you're going to fail. So it's there's a lot of precision there, which can cost seconds. And again, like I've been saying the entire run, seconds add up, especially at a top level.
Yeah.
Alright, there we go. So there's a very cool movement here to get to the top of Wet Dry World very quickly.
Yeah, unfortunately, I did mess it up the first time. You are supposed to do it twice, but I got a little bit of a weird angle, so I had to go around the long way. But that time was good. I didn't mess that up at all.
Alright, so hundreds here. Hundreds here are quite interesting because there's a lot of specific boxes that have like 10 coins in them each.
Yeah.
So you got to go to these very specific places on the map to get huge amounts of coins. But in some ways that also makes it quite easy. So there's a neat bit of movement there to get into downtown without having the water high.
Yeah,
And
so
again, that's one of those pieces of movement that you can do in a few different ways.
yeah, with the 10 coin boxes, there is a tiny bit of RNG. Like, if you do it properly, the worst thing that's gonna happen is maybe one coin escapes you. But if you like mess it up, the coins sometimes just go everywhere, and when the coins spawn in, it's just so laggy. Like the game's frame rate cuts in half. It's so bad. Not really fantastic movement, but at least doing it.
Yeah, nice. Alrighty, so another 100 coin and red coin combination there. No, again, no particular surprises. I think a lot of the rest of the stars here are reasonably simple. I think 5 Secrets has some pretty decent movement, but I know there's shocking lifts is pretty simple because it's a teleporter.
Yeah, so this star is actually really fun to do, and it's just sort of cool all around. I don't know why, it's just a lot of weird, tight movement that you don't really see everywhere else. Oh, no. So unfortunately, if you mess up, you have these things to worry about. And it can...
Oh no! Nah, it's fine, it needs to wind up. Nice. I think final star for Dry World coming up, and it's quite a simple one.
Yeah, basically just use the teleport and jump down. It's one of the easiest stars in the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the thinking was behind that teleport, because I mean I guess it is quite hidden, but it means that this entire, because I think you're supposed to do some. It's been so long since I've done the star casually, like for 10 plus years now since I've done the star casually, because it's use the teleport. Supposedly this whole thing with your elevators moving forward and left and right and all that.
Yeah.
So or just walk up to this place, jump down. Alrighty, so Tiny Huge Island here. Definitely a lot of quite cool stars in this. Looks like it's going to be 5 itty bitty secrets first. So yeah, it's another similar one to that where Dry World go to 5 specific points on the map. And now instead of using the switch which spawns boxes, we can just jump off the island, launch straight there.
So
that was very smooth, very smooth.
If you hit water that's out of bounds, the first thing Mario will do is just go upwards to the top of the water. So I just use that to my advantage there, just to get up the mountain there. You'll see it happen in TTM as well.
Another 100 coin and red coin combination here. So it's the combination of using a Big Mario and Tiny Mario to get as many coins as possible. With Tiny Mario, if you ground pound these Goombas, you get 5 from them each. So obviously that's quite a healthy amount of coins that you can stockpile in quite a short amount of time, especially given there's 3 here in the spawn area. There's I think it's a post there that you can use, but I don't think it's used.
So with my route, I don't use it. That's why this route is actually called Polus.
No.
I just somehow lured both of those enemies over. I have no idea how that worked.
No arguments there, so.
Yeah, just with this route, there's no leniency with coins. I have to get all of them. And that is genuinely a horrible blue coin.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Okay, that's fine.
Savable, easy.
Okay. Please excuse my backups. I just really haven't done RTA a lot recently.
So one thing you might have noticed there was that the triple jump there came off of essentially what was completely like an upward slope. The triple jump, if I remember correctly, like can be done off basically any slope. So it's quite versatile in that regard, in the sense that if you've got that third jump ready to go, you can jump quite high with that, because you can do the double. I don't think you can do.
You can't do single or doubles on certain slopes, but you can do triple jumps on some of these slopes. I don't know what the reasoning behind that is, but yeah, that's how it works.
But yeah, so very, very versatile tool to once again get height.
That's the thing with this game. It's all height. It's all height and spacing. That's what optimizing this game is.
So
like people always think about, like, when you're optimizing a speed game, they think about, like, maybe doing new tricks or like sequence breaks or something. But with this game, it's literally just getting the spacing right. Knowing what movement to do in what situation. If if 2 dives is better than a jump dive speed kick, or just like that. That's how we optimize this game.
Yeah, and the simple fact is that I think a lot of people don't realize is just how many tools there are.
Oh yeah.
To create that different spacing, which is what makes running it quite interesting, is because if you're doing the same route over and over again, sure, it's going to get dull, but there is so much room to experiment, there is so much room to innovate. And that's why it's still getting faster. Even though it's released in what 94, 96.
Yeah.
That's a long time, and it's still being innovated on today. And it is because of that versatile set of tools, as well as the hard and diligent work of top level speedrunners like Paracusia.
I don't do a lot to help the game optimization wise. I mean I have in the past, but I think my main thing has been to implement stuff. If you get what I mean, just like it's not creating stuff. It's using the strats that I found that I'm good at.
Yeah, and I mean that's also part of it, because I mean again, there's a classic speedrunner tale, as it were. Is we found this, but can be used. I mean, I've experienced it myself. We played Duke 3D. We found this new trick that was stupidly hard, and it was like, well, can we actually use this in runs? And then it sort of gets improved upon in that regard. It's not even optimizing. It's just again people figuring out how to actually implement it into the runs.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't undersell the importance of implementation. All right, so another Cooper the not so quick. We're going to go to Cooper Jr. and just bully him out of his shell.
Yeah, just absolutely being a menace to these Coopers.
Unfortunately, no double completion of the race here, but still a crushing humiliation.
Yeah. Done with tier chair. So I need a really good upstairs to actually hit my estimate. But hopefully I don't die too much.
Alrighty, so another Toadstar, and there'll be one final one at Tippy Top, otherwise known as Tippy.
Tippy top of the castle.
Alrighty, so tall mountain. To no one's surprise, it's a tall mountain. That's its gimmick. We've got a first thing. Oh no, and it's still doable. So this star you're supposed to get by going through the slide on this level, and then you come out of that little chute there. Except you don't actually have to do the slide at all to get the star, because it's just there. Unlike the CCM slide star that actually spawns once you've done the slide and exit.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to know why they did it differently.
Yeah, there's a lot of stars that are very similar, but it's just like, I don't know, weird.
I don't know, it could even just be memory considerations, because I'm guessing it would take more memory to put a trigger on than to just have it there.
Yeah, so I just messed up there. I fell down the mountain. It was my fault. I didn't hold A the entire time, and when you hold A off of like a wall kick or jump or whatever, you actually just get more height. So in a lot of spots, you just want to be holding A. So for example here, I need to be holding A so I can get enough height to get this ledge grab.
Nice.
Yeah, so you can actually get like not enough height on that wall kick and then have to do another wall kick. It's really common. You can't exactly get the same height every time. So we're always ready for the backup wall kick there.
Yeah. And also, I'm sure we've all seen the usage of the clip that basically sends us halfway up the mountain. So Para's utilising that to avoid having to climb it manually each time, because obviously that's quite slow, as it is a tall mountain.
Yeah.
Look, it was lame, but I couldn't resist.
And now for the monkey star. Oh, that was weird. Okay.
It's still good, it's still good.
There's a cool glitch we can do here. So you can sort of cancel the monkey's running animation by catching him onto the slope. And when Mario tries to put him down, he just stays in Mario's hands for whatever reason. And you can just take him to where you're supposed to... where the monkey actually spawns the star. See, the casual way, the monkey would just run around the mountain, and it would take forever for him to get to the star and activate it. But with that glitch, we can just take him there.
Alrighty, so it's Reds and Hundreds time here. Again, no particular surprises. You recognise most of the strats. Get as many of the quick coins as possible, as well as all the reds. So half the reds here are on these mushrooms, which is some very slick movement there, very nice. And then half of them are up this wall maze, I guess you could call it.
By a pure accident, I'm doing the slightly older route where you get all of the coins here. It's not what I normally do, but I just messed up a little bit and had to do it. But what the newer route does is it actually skips one of the red coins and gets it later, which actually eliminates all RNG in this entire star, which makes it one of the only stars, one of the only 100 coin stars with no RNG.
Alright, so we are going to go into the slide though, because Para does need a lot of coins, and there's quite a few blues just chilling, waiting to be collected.
I'm going to skip that one because I'm doing this route. If I grabbed that one, I would have spawned the star on this slide, which is absolutely horrible. Like, that's run dead, basically.
Yeah, I'm similar to what we refer to at CCM as, like, if you collect those last 15 and then suddenly you're too high on the ice, you got trouble. It's exactly the same thing. Like, good luck. If you want to try, good luck. You know, good luck to you.
Yeah.
But I mean, it should be doable, but it's obviously going to take you like minutes. Because one thing that I don't think we've actually needed to highlight is if you're going up a slope, you can hold A and just spam B to spam kicks. That'll actually send you up the slope. So you can climb a lot of slopes like that.
Yeah.
But it's slow.
Very slow.
It's slow. You know, you'll get there, but it's slow. So we're gonna go into, speaking of snow, we've got Snowman's Land here. That was a very current affairs program segue there. So we got first star here, lots of neat movement to get up to the top to get the Snowman's head star.
Yeah, this is actually one of the levels I have the world record in. This was one of the worst grinds I've ever done in my entire life. Because it was like... It was basically like going, you know, to the newsagent and buying like 100 lottery tickets, and then just like, you know, scratching all of them.
Well, I mean, one of them might get you like, you know, $2. If you're lucky.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of glad with how this run is sort of playing out. I was a little worried because I haven't been really playing at like a top level at all since Break the Record. I haven't, like, you know, been doing runs. I have played, but yeah, I just thought I was like gonna lose the feeling of RTA. But I'm good.
No, this has been a really good run, yeah.
I mean, this isn't exactly top level or even high level gameplay, but it's just like good enough. It's entertaining enough. Good enough for me.
Exactly, it's very entertaining. Oh, yeah, it's certainly been a pleasure to join you here. So I'm hoping that the same sentiment is felt by everyone at home.
Yeah, I'm having fun. I actually got really nervous. I don't know why, but doesn't matter what marathon it is or like what, you know, event. it is. Whenever I have to do a run, I always get really nervous. You know, and this year it's not in person, so I can't just like walk outside and grab a saddle. Like,
yeah. I mean, I remember what do you call it? I mean, and that's the thing. Like, you know, I mean, the crowd does help sometimes. You know, I mean,
yeah.
You know, someone who, you know, been there, done that on the marathon run. Setting, you know, big crowds, small crowds, whatever. And yeah, sometimes having the crowd there to you know, cheer you on and all that. Just, you know, the energy, the vibe is very good. And it's something that, you know, online's been very good to us from an ASM perspective. But yeah, the crowd can sometimes be a big confidence boost. I mean, did you remember I think it was last year actually, 2019. Your run when everyone was in the crowd.
Yeah.
From the Oz speedruns thing, we were just losing our minds. At
that was a good run. Amazing run.
If you haven't watched it, ASM 2019. It's on our YouTube. YouTube.speedruns.com will get you there. And yeah, Paras, 120 on. I think it was the last UniSA run.
It was 70 star.
It was 70 stars,
yeah.
On 120. But it was absolutely bonkers. Fantastic run. And again, it was one of those things where, you know, the crowd was so full of energy. It was great.
Yeah, I'm really happy that all the boys were in the crowd supporting me and stuff.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it was sort of a quote-unquote good thing that it was the last run for UniSA, because I think, you know, following that up would have been tough.
Yeah.
Very tough to follow that run up. Alright, so we've got our Maze Star here. I would argue that's probably the simplest star in the game.
Yeah, by far the easiest star.
You just jump. That's it. Yes.
Do a triple jump.
Yeah. So I figure I should probably start talking about the game again. We've just been chatting generally, which has been a good little bit of reminiscence.
Well, yeah, that's the thing with this game, is that it's been so done. It's so overdone that, like, what can I even talk about that's really fresh?
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, honestly, in some ways, I think that's actually sort of my quote-unquote greatest advantage as a commentator, is that because I haven't done it 1,000 times, but I sort of know enough, I'm thinking about the stuff that, you know, sort of has been done before, which is
unfortunate. I did hit the little clip on the stairs there, but I didn't maintain it.
Yeah, so just to skip the text box there, Para was going from a quick backwards long jump. Doesn't save too much time, but it does look cool. So, yeah, rule of cool. So we've got Cloud Star here. It's reasonably simple star. Just grab some wing caps, grab some cannons, collect the reds, get out.
Yeah, I'm just trying to play really safe here, just so I don't, you know, go wildly overestimate.
So after this run, just as a reminder, we're going to be revealing the schedule for our event. It's going to be in November. That's Fast 2020. So do stick around for that. Astra is our lovely coordinator for Fast and this event. He's been doing fantastic work on those. We'll be running us through those. So do stick around and enjoy the reveal with the rest of us. Actually, I don't know why I'm saying that. I already know what's in it. But
yeah, well, I'm keen for the reveal. Not so much because I want to be on it, but just to see what kind of runs are on there. Because I actually did not submit Mario. I think that might be one of the first events since I started submitting that I haven't submit Mario.
It might be the first event that you've submitted. Yeah, like where you have submitted but haven't submitted Mario.
Yeah.
I think. So.
Ooh, this is.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether that was.
Okay, we're good.
Alright, okay.
I was a little worried.
Yeah. Well, again, that's the thing. If it was moving, you just do moving reds, and.
Well, that's the thing. That's not moving. That's actually just random timing. So that's the worst thing that could have possibly happened.
Then it would have been swag as hell.
Yeah, we just got some like tight vertical movement here. Just getting up and getting as many coins. This is pretty much a coin perfect 100 coin, assuming you don't get a backup red coin.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can just like kick that box and get all of them before they start falling.
Yeah.
That's
so again,
the strat with 10 coin boxes. You have to get to where they all spawn before they start like going everywhere.
Because yeah, if they start scattering all over the place, it's not game over, but it's a pain in the rear. Very big pain. And then some of them start falling off, and so big problems. But that was smooth. That was very smooth. So
It wasn't too
hats
bad.
off. So yeah, I mean the gag when we were all kids, at least when I was a kid, was gotta stop the clock. It's the only way to get around safely. But no, Para and basically any other top runner, any other runner really at all, will prove to you very, very quickly that's not the case. Moving clock is nowhere near as spooky as it looks.
Yeah, it's actually to me doing the other way with time stopped is a lot more scary in terms of dying.
So you'll notice that that same movement's going to be used at the beginning of the level quite a bit, because so many of the stars are just in that sort of same region, and they can be reached with quite simple jumps accordingly. Okay, so entering the 12 here, specifically 4 stopped clock here though.
Oh, yeah, bit of weird geometry stuff there, like pushing Mario when he's in the middle of an animation. That happens in a lot of places, but specifically TTC.
Alrighty, so 2 stars left here. So are we going to see moving reds?
No. like I said, I don't want to go way over estimate, so I'm just gonna be trotting along normally here.
Tish tish.
If I was really ahead, I would have gone for it though, definitely.
Yeah, fair. But yeah, so moving reds is as implied. You leave the clock moving and get the red coins. It is, to my knowledge, is significantly tougher. Like significantly tougher.
Yeah,
that wall bump there, you'd be done.
It's a very hard strat, and there's like a couple of weird things about it that you need to know. But even if you do know it, it's hard to avoid certain things with that star. So that's what makes that strat inconsistent. I mean, it's probably a good strat for 70 star. Honestly, it's not that inconsistent. But yeah, heading over to my nightmare stage here. Even though
final course.
Even though I have the world record in this stage, it's still really scary.
So yeah, Rainbow Ride final course, which will send us to 119, and then we'll get our 120th star inside Bowser 3, being the red coins.
Yeah, so I'm actually down a coin here, so I actually have to grab a bob-on coin. Because the flag guy at the beginning flew away. So that means I didn't get 2 extra coins, and then I missed another coin, so that's 3. I need to get a bomb here somewhere. My controller is really messing me up in some places. Not to be a controller joining, but getting random quick turns.
Well, no. If you remember correctly though, it's no Johns, you're allowed 1.
True.
So, no more. Any more, and that's big trouble, but you're allowed 1. Anyway, so we're going to grab the open up the cannon here because we will be needing that for a later star. But in the meantime, I'm just going to finish off this this hundo, which is being combined with, if I remember correctly, it's the carpet.
Yeah.
Carpet in the sky thingy, or castle in the sky, whatever it's called.
A big house in the sky or something?
Big house.
I think
Close
that's
enough.
it.
So it's a melee tournament in Rainbow Ride.
Yeah, speaking of Johns. So yeah, I get a bit of a reprieve here, gonna stretch a bit. That's what I usually do. One thing I do have to pay attention for though is that here is a little bit of lag reduction you can do. You go over in this corner while the flame is out, so you're not looking at the flame, and the flame causes lag. So, it's just a little tidbit. Not a lot of people know about it, even top runners still don't know about it. But I just thought I'd throw that out there, because it's a cool little thing that, you know, not a lot of people do.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are probably just like, I'm on PB pace, you know, I'm going to hit that top 5 time. If I don't get on that carpet, I'm going to retire.
Yeah, I've actually always been a safe carpet player. I don't really do tricks. Just because, you know, it's not worth the risk, man.
Yeah, if you try that lag reduction, you don't get back on the carpet, you're going to be, you don't live that, you will never live that down, I guarantee it.
One thing I do like to do on elevators though is just kick.
Alrighty, so the final double up star in the game.
Now for the hard part.
So yeah, so again, this is another theme that we didn't really discuss. There's a lot of courses where there's just often a really quick way to get from the bottom to the top, and you'll just see that repeated really frequently, and that's the quick way there, is a quick triple jump to get to those 3 rotating platforms where Lakitu is. So now we get to the ship here. We use that. I love that side hop with the wind. It looks so smooth every time.
Yeah, it makes it easier just to like know where you are and stuff, and the wind just pushes you in there really gently. So yeah, that's one of the 2 Lakitu bounce stars. I should have said something, but yeah, that's Lakitu bounce. Basically, we're using side flips and, you know, timing double jumps just to lure the Lakitu over the way we want, so we can get a bounce off of it. And the way I specifically do it like that is called a glitchy wall kick. Basically, it's a wall kick that sends me forward instead of backwards. If that makes sense. Oh, that was close. Okay, going better than expected.
Yeah, that was. I mean, there are a couple of hitches on the first one, but certainly very smooth overall. I mean, he didn't fall down, so
yeah, that's what counts.
Chalk that dub. So 4 stars left in the game. One of them is Reds.
Yep.
Yes. I had no clue what the order is, but I figured, you know, it's a 1 in 3 chance. So Reds here are pretty simple, just because we can go top to bottom with the with fancy movement. Usually this would be quite, you know, casually this would be a bit harder, because you have to go into the maze, up, back, around, but obviously being able to sort of do it top to bottom makes it a lot simpler.
Yeah, that's like a pure platforming part of the game. It's really interesting, just like how it contrasts against everything else.
Alright, so now we got a... Oh, it's pyramids? No, that was 50-50. So the star out here is pretty simple to get with that movement, because we can...
Yeah, I did go for the...
swingy.
Yeah, I did go for like the top level strat there, but I didn't get enough length on that long jump to get the wall kick. To get the ledge grab, sorry. once you think about it, pyramids are just triangles anyway.
I mean, you're not wrong. Can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so that's all the stars except for one which we collected in the final stage here, which is Bowser 3 coming right up.
Yeah, the hardest Bowser level, and lost, surprisingly.
Yes, there's a lot of very finicky movement to get red coins efficiently, such as this. Like usually the casual strategy, you push the box and jump off of it, but you do that very specific triple jump and sort of move backwards in midair, which is somewhat counterintuitive, but it does work.
Yeah.
You do. I always love the side flips and
still
kicks
made
off
early cycle there. Holy, that was crazy.
This is very smooth. So make it.
Yeah, very smooth. Very smooth brain.
So we can use that being able to triple jump off basically any slope to get up that very quickly.
I caught one of the in-between cycles, really awkward, sort of like ones where you have to wait. Oh! Alrighty, making a wall kick here to collect the 120th star. So only thing left is Bowser throws. Yep.
So unlike the first two Bowsers, now we have to get 3 hits.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird. You'd think it'd be like 1 then 2 then 3 or something, but it's 1 then 1 then 3.
1 then 3, yeah.
So triple the difficulty here. Unfortunately, there is a strat to get these done pretty quickly. So we can catch Bowser while he's still bouncing, because the hitbox for the tail is still active. And by doing it in this order, you sort of get pretty decent throws. Those were oh, the bounce!
Yeah, those were really good throws. Yeah, time's coming up.
Bounce, very nice. So yeah, time's coming up when we collect the final giant star. So.
And we have time.
Very nice run. Very nice run.
Yeah, I am kind of shocked. I mean, I should at least hit a 145. What did I get?
I've got no idea. Let's have a look.
145.28 or something?
Yeah, it was like, well, 145.28, yeah.
Wow, that was good.
I mean, that's pretty strong, like.
Yeah, thanks heaps for doing commentary with me, that was good. I'm glad I didn't have to do it myself.
It's been an absolute pleasure, because it's...
Yeah.
You know, again, as I said, I'm not particularly a runner, so it's nice sort of, you know...
No, sometimes that's what you need, though.
Yeah, and yeah, learn a few things along the way myself, so yeah, hopefully those at home enjoyed the run as well.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Really enjoyed that run. Obviously, I guess it's sort of obligatory. If you want to run the game, you know, hit me up or just search up SM64 on speedrun.com. There's so much to get into this game. But yeah, guess that's it for me.
Alrighty, so we're going to go to our final intermission here before the legend himself, Astrius, reveals live on stream the schedule for Fast 2020, which is coming up in November. So, cut to intermission in just a second. Thank you very much for joining us. I'll be signing out now. Have a good evening.